Elijah, you killed 7 of my babies for her. Sierra Lockwood crashes through the surgical wing doors like a storm with a heartbeat. Her hair is pinned up the way his mother likes it, neat and obedient, but her eyes are not obedient anymore. A kitchen knife gleams in her hand, held low at first, as if she is still deciding whether mercy exists. The hallway smells like antiseptic and money. Security guards in dark suits stiffen. Nurses freeze with their hands on carts. A man in a tailored coat steps forward, palm out. "Ma'am, you cannot be here." Sierra does not slow. She lifts the knife, and the guard sees the shaking in her wrist, not fear, but rage held back by bones. "Move," she says. Her voice is quiet. That makes everyone move. The operating room doors swing open. A bright white world spills into the hall. Lights. Machines. A table in the center. A woman on that table, pale, fragile, wrapped in sterile sheets like a saint in a shrine. Layla Bennett. The name is a wound that never closes. Sierra knows the curve of that mouth from framed photographs in Vivian Walker's sitting room. She knows the softness of Layla's laughter from videos that Vivian plays at Christmas. She knows the way Elijah Walker says Layla's name when he thinks Sierra cannot hear, like it is a prayer he deserves to keep. The staff inside the room scream. Someone drops a tray. Metal clatters, sharp and frantic. Elijah stands near the table, gloved, mask pulled down beneath his chin, his face drained of color as if Sierra has reached inside his chest and squeezed. "Sierra, put it down," he says, stepping toward her. "You are not thinking." "Thinking is all I have done," she answers. She points the knife at Layla, close enough that the air seems to cut. Layla's eyes widen. For a second, Sierra sees something in them that is not surprise, not fear. Recognition. As if Layla has been waiting for this moment and hates that it is finally here. "She cannot be here." A surgeon says. "Call security." Security is already here. They hover behind Sierra, hesitant, because in her other hand she holds a file folder, thick with papers, corners stained with old blood from her own lips, from nights on bathroom floors. Elijah's voice breaks. "Sierra, please. This is a hospital. Think about what you are doing." Sierra laughs once, a small sound that does not belong to any happy memory. "Think about what you did." He takes another step. Sierra turns the knife, and the cold edge presses into her own stomach, right where life tried to begin. A gasp runs through the room like wind through dry grass. Elijah lunges. "No, stop." Sierra does not cut. She holds. She lets him feel the threat the way she has felt it for 3 years, hidden in pills, hidden in smiles, hidden in a bedtime kiss that tasted like betrayal. "I am not crazy," she says. "I am awake." The monitors beep. Layla's breath stutters. Vivian Walker bursts into the doorway, pearls at her throat, hair perfect, anger already arranged on her face. "How dare you?" Vivian snaps. "You ungrateful girl. After everything we did for you." Sierra turns her head slowly. "Everything you did to me." Vivian's eyes flick to Sierra's flat stomach. Disgust flashes there, quick, ugly, familiar. Weak. Always weak. Not fit to carry a Walker air. Sierra tightens her grip on the folder. The paper inside is heavier than any weapon. Elijah tries to soften his tone, the way he does when he wants something. "Sierra, talk to me. We can fix this." "Fix?" she repeats. "You mean take what you need and throw the rest away?" He swallows. Layla is dying. Sierra steps forward. One step. The knife stays on her belly. The file is raised like a verdict. "Then let her," Sierra says. "Because I watched 7 of mine die, and you called it bad luck." A nurse whispers. 7? Sierra looks around at the faces. Some are horrified. Some are confused. Some are already trying to decide which side keeps their career safe. She lifts the folder higher. "You want the truth. I brought it." Elijah's eyes lock on the folder. Fear finally reaches his throat. "Sierra, do not." Vivian hisses. "Do not you dare embarrass this family." Sierra smiles, and the smile is not gentle anymore. "I married into your mansion. I slept in your sheets. I smiled at your dinners. I buried 7 babies you stole from me. You think you get to tell me what I dare to do? She looks at Layla again. This is your 8th transplant, right? 8th time you expect me to bleed so you can breathe. Layla's lips part. Sierra, no. Sierra says. Do not say my name like you know me. Elijah reaches for the knife. Sierra lifts her hand, not faster than him, just steadier, and every person in the room understands that she could move the edge in a single inch and change her life forever. A silence falls, heavy and absolute. Sierra speaks into it. I am pregnant right now. 8th time. You wanted another fresh donation, another secret surgery, another lie. Elijah's eyes flare. That is not true. It is true. She says. But you will not get it. Vivian's mouth tightens. If you are pregnant, you will do what is best for the family. Sierra's laugh turns into a whisper. I will do what is best for the dead. She takes one more step into the operating room. The knife points at Layla, then at Elijah, then at Vivian. Today, Sierra says. Either I leave with justice, or I do not leave at all. Elijah's hands tremble for the first time. Sierra, please, put it down, we can talk. Sierra's voice becomes razor calm. We already talked, you spoke with pills, I will answer with the truth. She flips open the folder. The first page is a lab report with Elijah's signature on the consent line. The second page is a surgical log. The third page is a payment ledger with Vivian's name. The room tilts. And Sierra, once the soft wife who apologized for bleeding, stands in the heart of the hospital like a judge. Look. She says. Look at what you have done. Sierra does not shout. She does not need to. The paper does the screaming for her. She slaps the folder onto a stainless steel tray. Pages slide, catching the sterile light. The surgeon nearest the tray leans in without thinking, eye scanning, then jerks back, as if the ink has burned him. What is this? He whispers. Elijah's voice turns sharp. Do not touch that. Vivian steps forward, trying to block the view with her body. Those are private matters. Sierra reaches past Vivian and drags the top page into the center. Her hands are steady now. The shaking is gone. Grief has transformed into something cleaner. This is a lab analysis of the pills you put in my hand every morning. Sierra says. The ones you called prenatal vitamins. The ones your household staff delivered with a smile. The ones you watched me swallow. A nurse takes a step closer. Those are not prenatal vitamins. They are not. Sierra agrees. They are designed to end a pregnancy without leaving obvious traces in a routine check. Elijah's jaw clenches. You do not know what you are talking about. Sierra tilts her head. Then explain why the lab found the same agent in my blood after every miscarriage. 7 times. Same pattern. Same timing. Layla's breathing grows faster. The monitor squeals, then settles. Sierra pulls out another document, a printed still image from a hidden camera. It shows a kitchen counter in the Walker mansion. Elijah stands there, pouring powder into a glass. Vivian watches, expression calm, like she is watching tea steep. A collective sound rises. Disbelief turning into horror. Hidden cameras. Sierra says. Not yours, mine. Because after the 4th loss, I stopped trusting my own body, and started trusting evidence. Vivian snaps. You spied on your own family. You used my body like a tool. Sierra replies. Do not talk to me about loyalty. Elijah tries to snatch the folder. Sierra steps back, knife lifted in warning. He stops, breathing hard. Sierra turns to the medical staff. Here is the placental extraction log, dates, times, the name of the specialist who signed off. The transport codes to the lab. One of the nurses covers her mouth. There is a code for that. There is a code for everything. Sierra says. Especially when rich people want their sins to look like paperwork. The surgeon's eyes find the signature at the bottom of the extraction log. His face goes gray. This is real. Elijah's gaze cuts to him, warning. Watch your mouth. The surgeon swallows. If this is real, it is criminal. Sierra looks directly at Elijah. You hear that? Criminal. That is the word you have earned. Elijah's voice drops, pleading again. Sierra, Layla is dying. There was no other way. Sierra's mouth twists. There is always another way. You chose the way that did not cost you. Vivian snaps. Layla is family. Sierra laughs, harsh. So I am not. My babies are not. Layla finally speaks, voice weak but urgent. Sierra, I did not want you to suffer. Sierra turns the knife toward her. Not close enough to touch, close enough to make the point. But you let me. Layla's eyes glisten. I thought he would stop. I thought it would be one time. Sierra steps closer. One time, then two, then three, then seven. How many times did you tell yourself it was the last time while you waited for the next transplant? Layla flinches. You do not understand. I am dying. I am scared. I was scared. Sierra says. Every time I saw blood, every time the pain hit and I knew my body was empty again, every time Elijah held me and said, we will try again, like he was offering me a gift instead of writing another death sentence. Elijah's face is wet now, tears he never gave her when she begged for answers. I loved you, Sierra. Sierra stares at him. If you loved me, you would have let Layla go. You would have held my hand and mourned the child you made. You would not have called me weak while you poisoned me. Vivian's voice cuts through. Stop saying poison. You make it sound so ugly. It is ugly. Sierra says. You made it, and now you want it to sound polite. A security guard clears his throat. Sir, ma'am, we need to de-escalate. Sierra lifts another page, a financial ledger. Here are the payments. Private accounts. Shell charities. Donations that are really bribes. The names of the doctors who signed off. The nurse who forged my discharge notes. The driver who delivered the specimen cooler. The guard blinks, overwhelmed. Sierra's eyes sweep the room. You all thought I was fragile. That I would accept any story as long as it came with a bouquet. That I would grieve quietly, because the mansion walls are thick and nobody wants to hear the truth. She taps the extraction log with one finger. Every miscarriage was scheduled. Every loss was harvested. Every time my body produced life, you turned it into a product. Elijah takes a step back, as if the words have weight. Sierra, please. We can make this right. Sierra holds up 7 small cards, each one a hospital bracelet she kept, each one labeled with a date and a false diagnosis. These are my children. She says. You called them complications. You called them a weak uterus. You called them fate. Her voice turns low. They were murder. The room is silent except for Layla's labored breath and the faint buzz of fluorescent light. Sierra folds the bracelets into her palm. She looks at Elijah and Vivian, and something final settles behind her eyes. You do not get forgiveness. She says. You get consequences. Elijah's voice cracks. What do you want? Sierra answers without hesitation. I want you to know what it feels like to lose everything you love, and still not be allowed to die. Sierra learned long ago that pain can be a teacher. It taught her how to lie with a straight face. It taught her how to swallow sobs behind silk curtains. It taught her how to watch Elijah smile and not break. When the 8th pregnancy test turns positive, she does not cry with relief. She does not whisper a prayer. She looks at the 2 lines and feels only cold clarity. He will try again. That night, she waits. Elijah returns late, smelling of cedar cologne and guilt. Vivian is in the living room, knitting, as if she is a normal mother-in-law, not the architect of cruelty. Elijah kisses Sierra's forehead. How are you feeling? She forces warmth into her voice. Tired, but happy. His eyes flick to her stomach, measuring. Not tenderness, inventory. Vivian sets down her knitting needles. We should keep you calm. No stress. No surprises. I will have the cook prepare the right meals. Sierra nods, obedient. Thank you. The next morning, the pills arrive on a silver tray. The same glass of water. The same gentle voice of the housekeeper. Sierra takes the pill, smiles, and when the housekeeper turns away, she spits it into a napkin and folds it tight. By noon, she has a small pile of white tablets hidden in a jewelry box. Enough proof to bury them all. She fakes the symptoms too. She knows what blood looks like. She knows how much to show to make them panic, and how to keep her own body safe. She stains towels, calls out in a trembling voice, and lets Elijah carry her to the car like a hero in a story he is writing for himself. At the private clinic, the doctor speaks softly. "It might be another loss. We will monitor." Elijah squeezes Sierra's hand, performative. Vivian watches the doctor like a hawk. Sierra keeps her eyes on the ceiling. She lets her breath hitch. She lets a tear fall. She gives them the show they need so they will not look closer. That night, she sends one message from a burner phone. Noah. Dr. Noah Carter is not a man she trusted at first. He was assigned to her after the fifth miscarriage, a younger physician with tired eyes and a conscience that did not fit the Walker family. He asked too many questions. Vivian tried to switch him out. Sierra found a way to keep him. The message is short. "They are doing it again. I have proof. I need you." Noah replies within minutes. "I am with you. Tell me where to meet." 3 days later, Sierra collapses. In the mansion hallway, Vivian orders her sent to a discreet recovery center, a place that calls itself a wellness retreat but feels like a cage with softer sheets. Elijah visits once, bringing flowers and a promise. "We will get through this." Sierra smiles at him with empty eyes. "I know." When he leaves, she sits up in bed, heart steady, and pulls a flash drive from beneath the mattress. Noah has started giving her copies. Medical records. Procedure notes. Transport logs. Names. Every file is a brick in the wall she is building around them. She records too. The retreat has cameras, but she has her own. One evening, she calls Elijah on speaker and pretends to sob. "I cannot do this anymore. I keep losing them. Maybe I'm broken." Elijah sighs, the sound of a man irritated by inconvenience. "You are not broken. You are useful." Sierra's fingers tighten on the phone. "What did you say?" Elijah corrects himself, smooth again. "I mean, you are strong. We can try again. Layla needs another transplant soon." Sierra forces her voice to shake. "Why does Layla need it so often?" A pause. Then Elijah answers, careless in his confidence. "Because she deserves to live. You are my wife. You can handle it." Sierra swallows the urge to scream. "And the baby?" "The baby," Elijah says, impatient, "is not a baby yet. Do not be dramatic." Sierra whispers. 7 times. Elijah's tone hardens. "Stop counting. It makes you sound crazy. If you keep your head down, you get to stay in the mansion. You get comfort. That is the deal." Sierra lets silence hang. Then she asks, as if she is weak. "Do you love her?" Elijah exhales. "Layla is my past, my first, my real. If you want to keep your place, do not make me choose." Sierra ends the call with a soft goodbye. Her hands do not shake. She saves the recording. She labels it. Confession. Noah comes after hours through a service entrance, risk written all over his face. "This is insane," he whispers, sliding into her room. "If they find out I am helping you, they will ruin me." Sierra meets his gaze. "They ruined me. Help me ruin them." Noah hesitates, then nods. "I have something else. The research board notes. The funding trail. It proves they planned every schedule." Sierra takes the documents and feels the last piece click into place. She is not a victim waiting for mercy. She is a strategist waiting for timing. She whispers, almost tender. "The 8th time is not for them." Noah frowns. "What do you mean?" Sierra looks toward the window. Outside, the sky is calm, pretending the world is normal. "It is a trap," she says. "I will let them think I am pregnant, then I will let them think I am dead." Noah goes still. "Sierra, that is dangerous." Sierra smiles without warmth. "So is being married to Elijah Walker." She places a hand on her belly. "Not in affection. In farewell. 7 times, they took everything from me," she says. "The 8th time, I take everything back." When Sierra returns to the Walker mansion, she returns as a ghost wearing her own face. She moves quietly. She speaks softly. She thanks Vivian for soup she does not eat. She smiles at Elijah as if love still lives in her. She lets them believe the retreat cured her, that she is back in her place. In private, she works. Noah helps her build the case, not as a doctor, but as a witness with hands that can still hold a pen without shaking. He copies records, pulls archived footage, and takes photos of everything he cannot carry. Sierra makes lists. Names. Dates. Motives. Weak spots. First, she strikes the story. She contacts a journalist who once tried to investigate the Walker Charity Foundation and was threatened into silence. She sends the files from an anonymous account, not all at once, but in a sequence designed to force attention. A headline explodes across screens: Wealth Dynasty accused in repeated forced pregnancy losses. Elijah calls her from his office, voice tight. Did you see the news? Sierra keeps her tone light. It is horrible. Who would do such a thing? Elijah is silent for a beat. Then he says, "We will handle it." Vivian holds an emergency meeting in the mansion library. Board members arrive, lawyers in tow. The air is thick with fear and expensive cologne. Sierra serves tea and listens. A lawyer says, "We need to deny everything." Another says, "We need to bury it." Vivian snaps, "We need to find the leak." Sierra sets down cups, her hands steady. She is the leak, and she is the flood. Second, she strikes the money. She uses her own trust fund, the one Elijah thought he controlled, the one he did not realize she had already moved with Noah's help and a quiet accountant who owed her grandfather a favor. She freezes Elijah's access to several accounts by triggering compliance reviews. She alerts regulators to suspicious transfers tied to the foundation. She locks down property deeds through a legal loophole she studied in the retreat, night after night, while Elijah slept with guilt that could not wake him. Elijah storms into her bedroom that night, face red with fury. "What did you do?" he demands. Sierra sits on the edge of the bed, calm. "I did nothing. My accounts are being audited. My credit lines are on hold. Vendors are pulling out." Sierra tilts her head. "That sounds stressful." Elijah grabs her wrist. "This is not a game." Sierra looks down at his hand, then back up at his face. "Let go." He releases her as if burned. His eyes narrow. "You have been acting strange." "I have been grieving." Sierra says, gentle. "You told me not to count." Elijah's mouth opens, then closes. He walks away, angry at a truth he cannot admit. Third, she strikes the bond between him and Layla. Sierra sends Layla a message through a private channel she knows Layla uses to avoid press. It is simple. "He will abandon you to save himself." Layla responds within minutes, words frantic. "He would never." Sierra replies, "Ask him if he would choose you over his empire." Layla does. Sierra knows because Noah shows her the clinic call log. Then Sierra sends Elijah a false rumor, delivered through the one assistant who cannot keep secrets. Layla is looking for a new donor. She has been talking to another billionaire. Elijah bites. His possessiveness is a predictable weapon. He drives to Layla's penthouse that night. They argue. Neighbors hear shouting. A camera catches him leaving with blood on his knuckles from punching a wall. The next morning, the video is online. Sierra watches it with a blank face. She does not gloat. Gloating is for people who want approval. She wants collapse. The Walker stock price slides. Investors flee. Vivian's face appears on television, tight and furious, denying allegations that now multiply by the hour. Sierra receives a call from Vivian. The older woman's voice is sharp enough to cut glass. "You did this," Vivian says. Sierra keeps her voice soft. "Why would you say that?" Vivian hisses. "Because you have always been too quiet. Quiet women hide knives." Sierra looks at the drawer beside her bed, where a blade rests beneath a scarf like a sleeping animal. "Maybe," Sierra says. Vivian snaps. "If you are pregnant, you will protect this family. You will not destroy it." Sierra laughs once, a sound Vivian has never heard from her. "This family destroyed itself. I am just removing the curtains." Vivian's breath catches. "What do you want?" Sierra answers. "I want you to feel fear every time you swallow water. I want you to wake up and wonder if the next smile in your house is a lie." I want you to know what it feels like to live in a body that is not safe. Vivian whispers. You are a monster. Sierra's eyes are calm. You made me. She ends the call. Then she texts Noah. It is time. Noah replies. The hospital scheduled the emergency surgery. Layla is failing. They will try to take you tonight. Sierra looks at her suitcase, already packed. She touches the flash drive, the recordings, the bracelets. Let them come. She types back. I have been waiting. They come after midnight. Not with sirens. Not with noise. With the quiet confidence of people who believe money makes them untouchable. Two men enter Sierra's room. Security from the Walker estate, but not the kind that wears smiles. Their hands are gloved. Their eyes are empty. Sierra pretends to wake in panic. What is going on? One man says. Sir wants you to come with us. Sierra sits up, clutching the sheet to her chest. Why? The other man does not answer. He reaches for her arm. Sierra screams. Not because she is afraid. Because she wants the neighbor rooms to hear. She wants cameras to catch it. She wants the world to see what the Walkers do when their masks slip. The men freeze. One curses under his breath. Sierra scrambles off the bed and runs, barefoot, into the hallway. A nurse on night duty looks up, startled. They are taking me. Sierra cries. Help me. The men surge forward. The nurse grabs a phone. Then, as planned, two uniformed officers step out of the stairwell. No. One officer says, voice firm. Hands where we can see them. The guards stop dead. Sierra's scream becomes a sob as she leans into the wall, shaking. The officers move fast. They restrain the men. Sierra points with a trembling finger at the camera in the corner. It is all on video. One officer nods. Ma'am, you are safe. Safe. The word is strange in her mouth. It is also temporary. Noah appears, breathless, coat half buttoned. He meets Sierra's eyes and gives the smallest nod. Now. They rush her out the back, not to hide, but to stage the final scene. The hospital is already in chaos. Layla has been moved to surgery early. Elijah has pressured the board. Vivian has called in favors. The staff is terrified and terror makes people follow orders. Sierra walks into the surgical wing again, but this time she is not alone. Noah is at her side. A detective is behind them. A camera crew follows, invited by the journalist Sierra fed the story to, now hungry for the final bite. Sierra's heart beats steady as she steps to the operating room doors. Behind the glass, she sees Layla on the table, thinner than before, skin almost translucent. Machines hum, trying to keep her alive. A doctor in a mask checks a screen, hands moving fast. Elijah is there, arguing with staff. Vivian stands in the corner, face pinched, fury barely contained. Sierra looks at the detective. You have the warrant. The detective nods. We do. Sierra looks at Noah. You are ready. Noah swallows. Yes. Sierra opens the door. The sound hits first. The beeping. The shouted instructions. The sharp inhale of fear as people see her. Elijah spins, eyes wild. Sierra, what are you doing here? Sierra steps in. She holds a knife again, but the blade is not raised. It is visible, and that is enough to make them all remember the first time. The surgeon shouts. Security. The detective answers instead. Police. Freeze. Vivian stiffens. This is a private facility. You cannot. The detective holds up the warrant. We can. Elijah's face drains. He looks at Sierra as if she is a stranger. You set me up. Sierra smiles. You set me up 3 years ago. I just learned. Layla's eyes flutter open. She sees Sierra, then Noah, then the officers. Her lips part. Please. Layla whispers. I do not want to die. Sierra walks closer. The room falls silent around the machines. You did not want me to live. Sierra says. Layla's eyes fill. I was desperate. Sierra nods once. So was I 7 times. Elijah lunges toward Sierra. 2 officers grab him. He fights, shouting, face contorted. You cannot do this. She needs it. She needs the transplant. Sierra, I will give you anything. Sierra's voice stays calm. You already took everything. Vivian steps forward, chin lifted, trying to claim authority. This is family business. You are our daughter-in-law. You will remember your place. Sierra lifts the bracelets from her pocket and drops them onto the floor one by one. Plastic clicks against tile like a countdown. Here is my place, Sierra says. In a grave you dug. Noah steps forward, voice shaking but clear. I have the full medical records, the extraction logs, the funding trail. There is no denying it. The surgeon looks sick. We were told it was consented. Sierra turns to him. You believe them because they are rich. The detective signals to the officers. Arrest them. Handcuffs click. Elijah's voice breaks into a raw sound. Sierra, please, please. Sierra looks at him, and for the first time she sees how small he is without power. Not a god. Just a man who thought love was ownership. You called me dramatic, she says. Now watch what drama looks like. Layla's monitor begins to alarm. A nurse moves to adjust medication, then stops, glancing at the detective. The detective says, no more procedures until we have review. Step away. The nurse obeys, hands trembling. Layla's breath turns ragged. Her eyes lock on Elijah. Do something. Elijah tries to reach her, restrained. Layla, hold on, hold on. Sierra watches, not with joy, not with cruelty, but with a cold sense of balance. Layla's voice fades to a whisper. I am sorry. Sierra answers. So am I? The monitor screams once, then flatlines into a steady tone. The room stands frozen in the aftermath. Elijah makes a sound like an animal. Vivian sinks into a chair, face hollow, as if her world has finally learned how to die. Sierra lowers the knife. She sets it gently on a tray. She raises her hands, empty. I did not come to kill. She says to the cameras. I came to end the killing. The detective nods, eyes serious. Ma'am, you are coming with us to give a statement. Sierra looks at the operating table, then at the bracelets on the floor, then at the men in cuffs. Good, she says. I have been waiting to speak. The court does not feel like justice at first. It feels like paperwork and waiting rooms and men in suits pretending pain can be measured in months. Sierra sits at the witness stand with her hands folded. The knife is gone. The bracelets are in an evidence bag. The flash drive sits on the prosecutor's table like a small black heart. Elijah sits at the defense table, eyes sunken. Vivian sits beside him, posture rigid, as if her spine is the last thing she can control. The prosecutor plays the recordings. Elijah's voice fills the room. You are useful. The baby is not a baby yet. If you keep your head down, you get comfort. The jury watches Sierra, then watches Elijah. Something shifts. People do not like monsters that wear wedding rings. Noah testifies next. His hands shake, but his words do not. I saw patterns. He says. Loss after loss. The same timing, the same medication, the same hidden transfers. The defense tries to twist it. They imply Sierra is unstable. They imply grief made her imagine things. They imply the Walkers are generous donors and victims of a smear campaign. Sierra waits. Then she stands and lifts her chin. I was not unstable, she says. I was being erased. She tells them about the first miscarriage. The shock. The blood. Elijah holding her and saying it was fate. She tells them about the second and the third. She tells them about Vivian's smile at the dinner table while her body still hurt. She does not describe gore. She does not need to. She describes silence, and the room understands. My children did not have names, she says. They were never allowed to be born, but I counted them anyway, because someone had to. A juror wipes an eye. Elijah whispers her name, barely audible. Sierra. She does not look at him. The verdict arrives on a gray morning. Guilty. Elijah receives a life sentence without parole. Vivian receives 15 years. The doctors who signed the forms face their own trials. Some plead. Some fight. The names that once opened doors now open handcuffs. Outside the courthouse, cameras swarm. Reporters shout questions. Sierra walks through them without flinching. A woman in the crowd cries, "You are brave." Sierra pauses. She turns. Her face is calm, and that calm frightens people more than screaming ever could. "I was not brave," she says. "I was cornered." Noah stands beside her, protective but not possessive. He has been offered deals and threats. He chose truth. The cost shows in the tired lines around his eyes. "Where will you go?" a reporter asks. Sierra answers, "Forward." The Walker empire collapses in pieces. Investors sell. Boards dissolve. Properties are seized. The mansion that once felt like a prison becomes just a building with empty rooms. In the final settlement, Sierra receives control of key assets, not because the system is kind, but because the evidence is too strong to ignore and the family needs a public sacrifice. Sierra takes the assets and turns them into something else. She creates a foundation for women harmed behind closed doors. She funds legal aid. She funds shelters. She funds medical audits. She ensures that rich families cannot hide cruelty behind private clinics without risk. People call her a queen. People call her a villain. People call her a symbol. Sierra does not care what they call her. On a spring afternoon, she visits a quiet garden behind a small chapel outside the city. There is no headstone. There are no names. Only a tree with pale blossoms and 7 wind chimes hanging from its branches. She stands beneath it and closes her eyes. "I did not save you," she whispers. "But I did not forget you." The wind moves through the chimes. A soft music answers, like tiny voices refusing to be silenced. Sierra opens her eyes to the sunlight. It warms her face. It does not ask her to be gentle. It does not ask her to forgive. It simply exists, steady and clean. She turns away from the tree and walks toward her car. Her phone buzzes. Another message. Another case. Another woman asking for help. Sierra reads it. Then she types a reply. "I am here." She writes, "You are not alone." She puts the phone down, starts the engine, and drives into the day. The past does not follow her like a chain anymore. It follows like armor.
Thanks for watching. Follow for more romance stories.